What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. I know it's never nice to sort of point the finger and say that you got a problem, but I think there are things that we can do a lot better in this space. I'm going to talk about why and sort of some of the things I've seen, some of the concerns I have. And, this is obviously not a sort of personal attack against anyone, but it's definitely something I want you guys to be more critical of yourselves going forward because I think that we have so much opportunity ahead of us. And if we can sort of get over this one thing, it's really going to make a massive difference for you guys. So, with that being said, make sure you remember nothing I say here is financial advice. And as always, you remember I got the Web3 Secret Society, really cool group if you want sort of extra coaching, guidance, and support. Now, I want to actually get into something that I thought was very interesting. So I posted sort of about Pixel a lot of times. I posted about Pixel when I first heard about it. I sent DMs to a bunch of people telling them that, hey, I think this is a very good opportunity, like people I know, and said, hey, if you can do this, I think it's worth just doing it, biting the bullet for 2 weeks. We'll figure this out and find a way to crush this because it was sort of built in a way that you didn't have to be playing forever to get it. And it only counted sort of certain things you did during that time period. And if you were smarter with how you allocated your resources, basically, if you were more strategic than ever, right? And that's, really good for me. Now, most people I said, yeah, sounds great. I'll do it later and whatever. And then what happened is once I got paid today, I heard from people again. People just started coming out of the woodwork, DMing me and everything else like that. And just being like, hey, like, is it too late? Can I jump in on it now? Wow, you got like, I think it was like $3,500 or whatever for this, $2,600 for the whole thing. Can I get on it? Like what do I do now? Oh, can I have a piece? I don't want to call people e-baggers, but there are people out there, right, who just show up with their hands out whenever things are good. Now, I'm not saying that's any of you guys. That's not the point of this, right? But I'm going to show you, for example, one more thing. And this is not anything bad, but this is somebody who, if you didn't get it, I just wish, and this is no shade on them, right? This comment was, wow, I missed Mavia. I installed Mavia like when I told people to. Link the accounts, double, triple checked anything, didn't get anything. But in the instructions I posted, it literally said it will confirm if you got it. It will literally tell you. But instead of coming back to me and saying, hey, and this is not just one person, a lot of people, right? They're like, oh my God, like, can I do it now? Is it too late? Where was these questions when I was sort of talking about how this is a great opportunity, or when I was sort of saying, guys, there's a reason if I'm showing you something on a video, there's a reason for it. I don't have time to be showing you a bunch of crap. If it's bullshit, I'm not showing it to you. There's a reason why I literally, and by the way, Aju boy, I see this, April. I made an announcement today. The fact that you don't know this tells me you're not in their Discord. So, Aju boy, join the damn Discord. Because once again, I tell you guys, if you're in a project, follow their Twitter, join their Discord. If you ask me a question that I know, and remember, I'm in hundreds of Discords. So the fact that I know this off the rip and you don't tells me you're not in the Discord. Get in there, okay? You got to do the work. And this is sort of, and the reason I brought this up, not pointing fingers at you, I'm telling you guys this as a community, okay? We've got to really be strict on ourselves in what we do. There's so much garbage out there. Sorry, the Discord. My Discord is not free. The Layer Bank Discord is free. Every project that you're in, go doing it. Jack, dude, I love it. 72,000 pixel, still hodling, dude. I'm proud of you, man. That's awesome. See, this is the kind of thing. Like Jack is an example of like somebody who was, hey, look, I know what's good and I'm gonna get in on it, right? And by the way, every time I make these videos, I'm making these videos at my own detriment. I hope you realize this. When I tell you stuff, like, yes, I'm sure other content creators will share stuff too, but there are things in there that I will tell you guys about strategy that you won't hear. And the reason I tell you guys that is I want to bring everyone up with me. I'm not one of those people who turns around and pulls the ladder up behind me. So when I post something, when I tell you guys something, if you have a question, ask me. If you look at, for the most part, I try to respond to you guys. I try to let you know exactly what's up. But don't wait till something is over and then go, oh, like the bottom comment. I'm curious. is it worth the grind now? What do you mean is it worth now? Like what is it worth now? Right? Like I basically said, they had a full check, and this is for the first part for Mavia. And for Pixel, the massive gains are done. Yes, you can earn a few Pixel a day, and maybe there's a campaign in the future, but this opportunity is gone. And the time to be asking those questions was literally in that time. It was literally when we're going through it. Don't ask me after the fact. This is the same thing I see when people go, oh, but it's too late for layer 0. It's too late for ZK Sync. Great. And then when the airdrop comes, you know what you're going to tell me? Oh, is it too late to get the other one now, man? Like, do you think if I do ZK Sync farming now, I can get something, bro? Like, it's just stupid. Like the thing is, you got to take some accountability. And like I said, once again, I'm sure the majority of you are doing this. You don't need to be told this. But this is just, if anybody's here sitting on the fence going, should I do this? Should I not? Guys, you've got to prioritize. Let's just see what Jack was saying here. Top 200 and play to earn season 1. I gave up Pixel because I felt we were being fun. That's funny. Like I screwed up. So I got 7,300 whatever, right? I should have got way more. I got the time zone screwed up, and I stopped 6 hours before I was supposed to. So I let all my Grumpkins die. For those people who don't know, it's some bullshit. It's some plant that has to be watered twice. I let them all die, and because of it, I dropped from like that top 1,000 farmers for that to below and lost like 500 points of ranking because you got like you got so many points for that. Stupid. I know I threw away at least $1,000 on that one. Just stupid. But what I want to say here is, guys, you got a million distractions. Okay, you guys have people tweeting at you. You got people making videos, right? You got your friends every 5 seconds. Like even in our private Discord, I see a ton of people post a bunch of whatever stuff. And I make it very clear. Like people have asked me, oh, can I have access to post and announce? And once again, right, no one is doing this maliciously. That's the first thing I want to be very clear on. People have asked me, hey, can I post announcements in the private Discord? And I'm like, no. And the reason for that is the stuff in the private announcements I post because I'm telling you guys, focus on this. If you guys want to post in other channels, hey, yeah, I looked at this, I looked at that. Hey, I'm not going to stop you. Hey, share whatever. I haven't gotten a chance to filter yes or no if this is good or not. But when I posted in the announcement, I'm very clear. We had something called BattleTech last week where you just bought some passes of people and sold them. I told people it was speculative. I told people my play was I was up 300% in one day. And the people who did it literally jumped in with me and quit. People asked me after a few days later, oh, well, now is it, should I jump in now that you've sold out too? No, why? Like, if I thought it was still good, I wouldn't have sold out. Well, Kim, you got more of a chance than if you don't. That's the only way I can answer that question. So I think you've got a shot. I hope they'll do what the Arbitrum sort of campaign did. It's not a sort of disqualifying factor on anything, but obviously sort of you want to get those metrics up. Focus on what you can control. Okay, so you don't worry about things that you can't control. Do what you would do regardless, and obviously because you know that this is a limiting factor, you can be a little smarter on how you do this, right? So when I tell people who tell me, oh, but I just started ZK Sync in February, which is, you're ahead of them, right? Well, those people, I tell them, well, get your account to a certain stage you're okay with, then do a little amount to sort of bump up the edges, right? You don't need to go to top 1% in transaction volume, right? But once you're at a certain, top 30% or whatever transaction volume, whatever, then go, hey, now's the time for me to just do one transaction every 2 weeks or something to get those other numbers up on time. And then the longer time it takes, I bump that stuff up. I'm good. But what I want to tell you guys, and this is really the crux of this video. I didn't come on here to sort of just, go oh my God, whatever. And by the way, if there's any questions outside of this stuff, I'm going to answer it in the AMA, which literally is the next video. I want you guys to really focus on what's the most important thing. I had somebody DM me today being like, oh my God, did you notice Metis is, they've sort of wrapped up their campaign? This is a nice guy, by the way, right? Oh, the Metis testnet season 2 is done. I'm like, yep, I'm in their Discord. So I saw the announcement when it came up. But when I asked him, well, what happened to Pixels? Because I told you to get into Pixels. Oh, yeah, I just didn't have time to do it. And, I didn't get to it, right? I felt like I was too late. I don't know how, right? Like I told him before I started. So there is that potential there. And then it's all about these other small BS airdrops. You've got to prioritize. The Me doing Metis testnet, for example, is likely a $10, $15 airdrop, if that. These test nets don't pay much because they're heavily diluted. But something like Pixels, which was clearly a massive opportunity, there's a reason why I focus on learning exactly what's going on. I had zero clue what Pixels was before. I didn't know how to do anything there. And I chose to sort of invest my time, learn about the ecosystem. And this is the thing. You like it's one thing for me to bring you guys opportunities, might ask of you, and hey, it could be as applicable to my videos as someone else. If you don't find value in those videos, but in fact they send you on a wild goose chase, or they just give you a ton of things to do and they don't help you prioritize, should you be following them? Because then instead of sort of focusing on what's important, you get distracted with a bunch of bullshit. Guys, I don't make videos every day for a reason. I'm not here to get views from you guys. I'm here. I mean, yes, it helps for sure. And I want to make that stuff better. But my number one purpose of doing this is to help you guys have strict focus. You've got to identify which of these things should I be doing. There's a reason I made a video on ZK Sync and Layer Zero. I literally made so many videos on them recently. Just look at them. That is what your priority should be. Do not be DMing me later being like either one, oh my god, the snapshot's done. Okay, great. Then don't do it. And then don't come to me when everyone else is partying with the money they got in 3 or 4 months and be like, oh man, is it too late to start farming now? You know what I mean? And the same thing goes when you're looking at things like Barachain and Metis Testnet and all these other small fries things. Yes, they're fantastic to round things up. But you guys have got to be in the trenches focusing on the most important things. So I'm going to say this one time here for what you should be prioritizing in the next 3 months. I want you guys to be focusing on this with haste. Don't let anything else get in the way. Everything else is small potatoes. They can be done on your breaks. Do not be doing this right now. Do not. The first one, Layer Zero. Second one, ZK Sync. If you want to swap the order, I don't care. The number one thing you've got to do there at a minimum, we're on February 19th, go and get your footprint started. The limiting factor will be the month criteria. So you need to get that. After that, it's scroll. Okay? After that, it's scroll and Linea. Okay? So focus, Layer Zero, ZK Sync, scroll, Linea. Scroll, in fact, is having some changes done in March. So they may end up doing some sort of change in that period to distinguish those who got in before that. So just keep that in mind. Those are my top four. And then also Hyperlane, Polyhedra, and Chroma. Those are the ones you do after those seven. Focus on those seven. Yes, there may be other things, like I see in the chat even now, people are talking about like Tycho, Blast, Metis. Yeah, give me a break, Metis. Get the hell. Metis, I will throw that out here. That is not something we're focusing on, right? I say here, this is what you focus on. Focus on the narratives that are going to take us to the next level. The narratives that are really going to give you that big win. Remember, Wormhole, we're probably going to get the criteria on Wednesday on what's going on, okay? I will literally throw these other things in the trash. Like, I may, if you guys continue doing this, Jack, I don't care if it's free. That's the problem. People do that shit and waste their time. If you think Metis is free, what do you think is going to stop thousands, millions of accounts doing that? That's what's happening right now. You're going to be heavily diluted. Focus on the things that's going to return value. Metis will give you $10 to $15. That's it. I want $4,000, $5,000. That's what Layer Zero. That's what ZK Sync is going to give me. This is why I prioritize things like Pixel, right? Which you did too. Yes, Pixel was free, but guess what? Pixel was a huge time commitment, and you know that. If you truly got this this massive you got 200 in play to earn season 1, and you got 72k pixel right now, you know how much time you spent there. Metis is just a bunch of BS and you know it. Like, yes, it's fantastic, but there's zero chance. In fact, I will cross bet anyone on how much of a magnitude we'll get in layer 0 versus ZK Sync. And yes, this is exactly what Mr. NH is spot on. This is what I'm gonna get. Man, you didn't make it clear to me. I had no idea that layer 0 was important because I thought you said Metis testnet was what I gotta put 100% of my time in, you know? We ain't gonna do that stuff. And honestly, it doesn't take much. If you're smart with the way you do your transactions, I would focus on watch the videos that I've done, and you can literally check how much the gas prices are on some of these things. Focus on doing those activities, keeping you want to keep slippage low. And the reason what I say by that is if you're doing swaps, which is how you're gonna get volume, when you trade like Ethereum to USD and back, you're gonna get some slippage. You know, there's a swap fee and a liquidity sort of providing fee, right? And you know, when you do that kind of stuff, that is what attritions you. But if you change USDC to USDT, it's much less. So my recommendation is, you know, obviously you don't want to come across like just swapping back and forth the same token. I mean, you can. I did that for a bit before. But if you want to trade ETH for USDT, do it like when you're selling and buying back, like you're trading. You know, that way you're like making money off sort of it dipping and going up and stuff like that versus anything else. But at a minimum, get one transaction. Okay. Yes, Jack, I agree, but here's the thing. When you just wrap and unwrap, they will literally flag you as Cybele. I don't know if you know this, but if that's the only thing you do, it is literally like they had said in their Discord. They have things in place to have cyber protection. So there is a tracker that actually looks at what you do. You cannot just do those things. So I have wrapped my tokens and unwrapped them. I have deposited in zero lend and withdrew them. All of those things. But if you make that just that's the only things you're doing, you will get flagged. So you have to be careful. That's all I'm saying. For those of you wondering, yes, Metis is incentivized. I hate saying this because let me tell you something. I don't want people to look at that and go, that's what I'm going to focus on, because it's not. The reality is, guys, you have two biggest problems are distractions and procrastination, right? The people who procrastinate are the ones who go, well, there's too much. So you have like paralysis analysis, right? Or analysis paralysis, said it wrong. So once again, it's in content creators' best interest to just bombard you with a million different things you can do. You know, that's why you'll see people make videos every single day on something different. Hey guys, do this. Hey guys, do this. Some of us, like I have a full-time job. I'm right now, I'm in Sweden, right? So I literally don't have time to do everything. And even I get overwhelmed by all the things I hear about and see. And people just constantly look, once again, they don't do it maliciously. They give me a heads up, hey, I think this is great. Unless something strikes me very quickly as either easy to do and I don't have to spend much time on, then maybe I'll do it once. Maybe I won't go back to it, but I will never do it at the detriment for my biggest plays. So I think somebody on crypto Twitter, his name is CC2 Ventures, says this very well. You've got to focus on making sure your crops are watered so you can harvest them properly. And what you want to work on are either setting up a bunch of passive airdrop activities. Those include staking Dimension, staking Celestia, staking Ethereum with Eigenlayer, staking Pyth, right? These are great. You know, entering vaults, owning like a thing like JLP, all of these things, they sort of add up. Orbiter finance, you know, incorporating that into your sort of DeFi strategy. So like, for example, whenever I use a bridge, I use Orbiter finance because it literally will add points every single time. I use it like a rewards program, right? Just like you would if you go to a gas station, you probably use the same gas station as much as possible to earn points. You got to use the same kind of tactics, right? And then beyond that, literally layer 0, ZK Sync, right? Linnea Scroll, Hyperlane Polyhedra, and then we got Chroma after it. So those are the 7 I'd focus on. I've kind of bucketed the first 2 because they're the first 2 coming up. But my recommendation is for all 7, get a minimum 1 transaction every single month because that is your rate limiting step. And guys, do not follow these idiots on Twitter who just make you run around in circles, do a million different things. you got to go into, okay, here's all the things ahead of me. What's the most important things? What is going to make my bag, and what is just going to be a nice, like, thing. If I offered you $1,000 to do like a delivery that took you half an hour, how would you how would you prioritize that versus me offering you $5 to do a 30-minute delivery? Now, you may still, you may make only $8 an hour, so that that $5 delivery is still worth it for you. But are you going to prioritize that at the detriment of the other one? Probably not. So you've got to make that prioritization exercise. I can't do it for you. My recommendation to everybody who's sort of watching this and does all this stuff, please make notes. Write all the stuff down you're doing. When you start doing that, it becomes much easier to cut out a bunch of crap that you're doing that's just not worth it, and ask questions. And guys, like, I want you guys to ask questions. The reason I ask you guys to ask questions is so I can tell you exactly what I think. If you guys do what you want to do after because, some YouTuber told you something or some Twitter idiot told you something, and then after you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't do pixels. Because now I get told something, like, for example, somebody I know said they're hoping Crypto Valley does very well. Crypto Valley is another protocol I let them know about. It is not even close to being the same opportunity, because Crypto Valleys is just launching. They're starting a test net, whereas Pixels has been around for 2 years and they're finally doing their token. There's a massive difference in the way these things are viewed, right? Not to say that it can't happen, just likelihood. And my number one goal here, and number one thing I want for all of you, is we are about to sort of rocket up in the new next bull run. These airdrops are really to help you guys build up your bags. So once we're sort of on that rocket ship, riding up, you guys have as big a bag as possible. And that's sort of why I'm so passionate about telling you guys this. You know what I'm saying? Hey bro, is it worth staking funds in the Stargate Finance? Yeah, so here's my thing. I would stake not anything but STG. And by the way, other questions that you guys are going to talk about is we'll do in the AMA, but just do STG staking so you can vote, because that's the most important thing. Remember, airdrops, they want to see that you care about governance. And once the proposal comes up, you can't literally stake and then go back and vote on it. They don't want it that way, and which I think is really nice. So, I talk about that in the Layer Zero video. And by the way, for anybody asking, no, it's not too late to start. It's literally the most common question I get asked. Is it too late? Is the snapshot taken? No. Until you've been told, assume there's no snapshot and just put in the work. Keep your costs low, because the risk versus reward as we get closer to Q2, that risk gets higher and higher and higher. So what you want to do is keep that minimal. Find ways that you can keep your costs low. Pierre, my recommendation is you watch my Layer Zero strategy guide, where I walk through exactly what you got to do from A to Z. And it's not the bullshit you hear on Twitter. It's literally step by step by step. I think doing that stuff will really help you get started. Yeah. And by the way, Jack, so I have 100 SCG. I don't recommend that for everybody. You can also buy SCG on BNB and save your costs if you buy it from Pancake Swap. The VE role in Discord is a nice thing to have. It likely won't matter. That's just my opinion. So, Jack, like the one thing I would say to your comments here is, you're coming at this from somebody who has infinite money. I'm trying to help people who've got like $50 to $100. Not, like 100 SEG is like $60. So I just want to be very cognizant of that for those who are watching. I do appreciate you commenting and everything. Thank you guys for the engagement. And I get it. Some people will say, hey, like, for example, you can't farm a project, you're a broke college kid. Well, my recommendation is make money now when you're working or whatever, and put some effort into Layer Zero and ZK Sync at a minimum. And if you can, the other two, like at least Scroll and Linea. And that way you can at least turn things over and actually try to build up a bag. That is sort of my thing. Yes, Bruce, I am planning on doing a video on Gitcoin Passport, but like guys, I'm literally in Sweden. It is you know what? Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. How do I unplug this thing? So I'm sitting at the Sheraton, right, in Stockholm. Let's see if we can do this here. Is there a view at all? No, it, it it's shit. This view is absolute shit. But basically, like I will do it when I get a chance. Like, don't forget, like I'm here to run a Congress, so I have a full-time job that I gotta do. Uh, this is stuff that I'm literally doing this. I skip my team dinner so I can get work done, take a nap, and do this video with you guys. And I'm gonna do a couple more videos as well. So we're gonna jump on in a second and go to the AMA and we'll sort of talk. But I hope you guys understand. Look, I'm telling you guys this because I believe there's time. I wouldn't be making this video otherwise. Okay, so let's jump on to the AMA. We'll see you there. And as always, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. See you in a bit. Thanks for watching.